feel when you're flying it closer to flying with your hands out like a bird.
It's amazing. I can be in the air and just go places that I want to go and do what I want to do.
We are here at Sun and Fun. I'm Dan Johnson and speaking to Daniela Knoll about the Bushcat. Now, one of the reasons why we wanted to come over here and have a look at it, Daniela, is because this one doesn't have the same gear on it. You forgot the nose wheel back there in Wisconsin, evidently, and so this one's sitting on its tail. How long have you been operating with the taildragger now?
The taildragger made its debut in the United States at Oshkosh last year. So it just goes to show that this aircraft is available as a nose wheel, tail wheel, and now amphibian seaplane.
And you got it all three ways that way. You can also get this in a couple of different ways relative to fully built and some other choices. Tell us about that, Daniela.
Yeah, that's correct. It's actually a certified S-LSA aircraft. It's available also as a kit for kit builders.
Is that experimental amateur built or E-LSA or both?
Both.
Okay, great. So you can have it any way you want.
Exactly, yep.
Okay, well, early on we want to touch on price because it's one of your great strengths. There's a lot we can talk about the airplane, and we'll come back to some of that, but just because you've got such a good price point, I want you to mention some of those numbers, including the kit, but I want to give a word of caution first. These videos last a long time. Don't depend on the information we're giving you now. Contact the representatives of the Bushcat, get the latest information. But meanwhile, let's get in the ballpark anyway,
Sure.
So people know what a great value this is.
Yeah, the concept behind the sport, the manufacturer strongly believes it should be affordable. So you have, depending on engine option, you can have a price point between $52,000 up to about $64,000, ready to fly out the door with standard instrument gauges and a comm radio.
So let me come back and repeat that just for the benefit of everyone, because we have heard for too many years these airplanes have gotten too expensive.
Exactly.
And there are some wonderful choices for $150,000. I'm not taking anything away from those
Sure.
beautiful carbon fiberglass cockpit airplanes, but you don't have to spend that if you don't want to. When this whole thing started, we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of light sport this year, and a couple of years before that people were saying, well, these airplanes ought to be $50,000 or $60,000. And that was before time value of money, which numbers would now be $70,000 to $80,000, the same exact number, just with inflation factored in. You're still at the original numbers.
That's correct.
And that's a whole airplane. You're not leaving something off with that, are you?
No, not at all. And it doesn't have any effect on the quality of the product. The quality of the product is still very high. The manufacturer, SkyReach, which is out of South Africa, has much lower labor rates. So they're able to keep the cost low. Bringing an aircraft here into the United States without having the effect on the high price. Certainly, we can always, we always depend on the engine prices, and there's nothing we
That's
can
one
do
of the
about
big drivers of the cost, of course.
But
yes.
certainly, they pride on their high quality product, low cost here in the United States, well, worldwide really, and fantastic service and maintenance.
Now, they took over from another company that had basically given birth to this airplane. And so people look at this and go, well, I feel like I've seen this airplane before, but it wasn't called Bushcat then. It was called
the Cheetah.
The Cheetah. And that's the same. It's not identical. You made a lot of improvements to it. I know when SkyReach took over, they went through the whole airplane, did quite a job of fixing little things that maybe needed some attention or whatnot. But it's essentially the same airplane. How many total are flying of the original and the current Bushcat? Rough order of magnitude for the number of
About
flying.
180 worldwide.
Okay.
There's 7 here in the United States, including this one.
Okay. And there's going to be more, I predict,
I
because
sure hope so.
at that price, almost everybody can afford it. But you can do even better than that because you offer it as a kit.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about kit pricing, and again, same caveat about check with the factory before you decide on a purchase.
Yeah, the kit actually is priced at $22,900. That is without an engine, prop, or any instruments. But it is a pretty easy to build kit. It's essentially nuts, bolts, rivets. There's no welding. And
about how many hours would it take?
Oh, it's only 200 to 250
wow,
hours.
okay, so
it's essentially just a big erector
kind
set.
of an assembly kit more than a construction kit.
Absolutely. And
you don't have to fabricate parts and so on.
Correct. And it fits that 51% rule.
And then add an engine, add some instrumentation. But usually we have to add one more factor that can jack up the price of a kit pretty substantially. That's paint. You don't need much paint on this airplane.
No, not at all.
Because your wings are made out of a Dacron-based material. This is probably something like Trilam, is it?
It is Trilam.
Okay, and that's a very sturdy material. You don't need to remember the name, but what you can know is that sailboats use a similar material, and it's very tough stuff. It is stronger, I think, than any dope and fabric type material that you would put on it, and requires no paint. So that's not only cost, that's weight.
That's correct, and it can withstand the ocean atmosphere. So that way, it's meant to outlast, to outlast the sun. UV rays, and wind, all that. It's used for
some people know that Dacron can be subject to, because it's a petroleum-based product, is subject to ultraviolet rays. But first of all, if you left it out in the sun, for year upon year upon year, yeah, you're going to have to change it.
Sure.
Even if you did, it's a take the wing off, put a new wing on. It's not that big a deal. Not like recovering, redoping, repainting, and all that.
Right.
So a much easier process to do that stuff.
That's correct. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about a couple of the features that people want to know about. They're in previous videos, but we're watching this one now. So tell me 2 or 3 of the leading qualities about the airplane, Daniela, that people go, wow, that is cool, I like that. There's got to be some of those wow moments here.
First of all, it has a very wide cabin, one of the widest in the light sport category. It's about 47.5 inches.
Wow.
So it gives you the room.
Bigger than a 172 by several inches.
Oh, yeah, by far. It also has a very large cutout door that allows you to just swing your legs in instead of bending in
way
half
up here, right over your shoulder here. So,
yeah.
So some of us older folks that don't pull our knees up to our chin so easily can get in the airplane a little
Correct.
easier.
Yeah, it's an easy in and out. It's got a very, very high visibility all over. You can fly with doors on or completely off.
How can you? Wonderful. Old ultralight pilot like me. Take those doors off. On a day like today, get the doors off. Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. And it's got armrests that have the throttle integrated in them, which it just provides a lot of comfort. People really tend to like that, and they think, wow,
on both sides.
On both sides. So
Excellent.
you can fly the aircraft from either side. It's a great training aircraft for that purpose. You sit in a lawn chair basically as you're flying all along, and it's just fun.
Well, I noticed one more thing that I'll add. You had, as we were trying to get ready to do our video here, you had a couple of folks in the airplane, and I stood out in front of it at an average height, and the airplane is on its tail just like it would be. I can easily see them, which means they can easily see me. They can see right in front of the airplane pretty readily.
Yep.
Some tail draggers are up so high you have to swing back and forth on the runway to see where you're going. I'm guessing you don't have to do that in this
Not
aircraft.
at all. Not at all.
Excellent. Well, that's a lot of great information, Daniela. Thanks a lot. Let's talk about where you're located here in the United States. You're the representative for the whole country, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and where are you based?
We're in southeast Wisconsin. So we're right on the border of Illinois. Our office is in Twin Lakes. Our hangar is just over the borderline in Illinois. But we are certainly looking for dealers across the country to basically get this product out there.
Excellent. Right in the shadow of Oshkosh almost,
Absolutely.
so up there in Wisconsin land.
Absolutely.
And where can we go get more information for folks that didn't get enough here or want some more? How do they contact you on the web?
Sure. The easiest is our website, which is aerosportplanes.com, or we're also on Facebook, which is facebook.com/lightsport.
Excellent. All right, speaking with Daniela Knoll today, I'm Dan Johnson. We are here at Sun and Fun. For more information about the Bush Cat and many other aircraft and lots of videos, go to buydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com. Thanks a lot for joining Daniela and me here at Sun and Fun.
Thanks, Dan.
Close to the ground, it tends to float like a leaf on the breeze.
Not too many aircraft that have that versatility to them.
So we have a report that one of our planes is low on fuel, and there is no gas station for hundreds of miles. This is the only one. So hopefully the plane can land here on the road and refuel.
The aircraft has got a 95-litre fuel tank. When it's sipping on 16 litres of fuel an hour, that gives you a lot of operational radius. You can head out into the bush and do a lot of flying out there before you have to return for a refuel.
My donkey. Hey, my donkey. Thank you.